Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Disenchantment episodes 9 and 10. So yeah, I said we would be doing two episodes this week due to having to miss last week thanks to Thanksgiving. What I didn't realize at the time when I said that, at least I don't think I did, is that there's only two more episodes left of the series. So yeah, we're still doing two episodes today, but that's it for Disenchantment for now. Now, there are new episodes coming, new seasons coming in 2019, 2020, and 2021. But I don't know when yet. They haven't announced specific dates. But you can bet your bottom dollar, I don't know why I specifically went with that, but you could definitely bet that I will react to those when they come. Again, as I've said before, providing that I'm still reacting to things by then. I hopefully should be, but you never know. So yeah, we have the last two episodes. Again, as I've said before, there's not really a huge ongoing plot with this series other than the thing with the immortality, as well as this this cult-like group who I believe sent Lucy originally to Bean and whatnot, and also helped them get the vial they needed in the previous episode. So that's probably going to come into play. I don't know for what or how, but it's probably going to come into play in these last two episodes. I'm really excited to see what happens, though. I'm really excited to see how this season ends and what kind of big things they can do for it. Now, one thing to note, I believe these are both regular length, but I'm not 100% sure. The last episode might be a double-length episode, or just longer in general, because the first episode of the season was longer. It was like, I don't know. Oh, crap, I accidentally played it. It was like, I think 10 or 15 minutes longer than normal. Actually, maybe even longer than that. How long is the normal? The normal's about 28 minutes, so almost 30 minutes. Yeah, and I think it was like 45 minutes for episode 1. So yeah, about 15 minutes or so. So I'm wondering if the final episode's going to do that as well. Now, I know nothing about these last two episodes. I know nothing about what's to come. So we're just going to have to find out. I hope that we do get more maybe with Una's home village, though. If you remember, they kind of declared war on Dreamland. And so I'm hoping something comes of that. Now, here's a big question you may have on your mind. Since these are the last two episodes of Disenchantment, what are we going to be reacting to on Thursdays from here on out? What is going to be the new Thursday show? Well, if you saw my video earlier, you know that Loud House Season 2 is going to be coming to Sundays now to join with She-Ra. And the reason simply being because I did hear that song that I use in the Coming Soon video, and I'm really, really interested to get back into that. Plus, it has been 8 months since I've seen Loud House, since I last reacted to the finale of Season 1, so I do really want to get back into it. I said I was going to. I did not think it was going to be this long. I thought it was only going to be a few months at most. Oh, well. But we still have an opening, and I've been looking at all the different shows that I've been wanting to get to, all the different shows that, since this isn't a voting day, this isn't one of the days I do the polls on, so I've been trying to look through just the shows that I've been wanting to get through, the shows that I've been waiting to do, and I've decided, let's keep Thursday for now as a Netflix day, just to make things easier, if nothing else. But also just because there is a show on there that just recently came out with its second season that I really would love to get to. And that is Castlevania. I did react to the first season. I believe that was back on my old channel before it was terminated. So, unfortunately, those reactions are kind of gone now. But I'm really excited to get to season 2. I loved the first season. It was a really fun ride. I loved the characters. I loved the animation. I loved the voice acting. All of it, really. And I've played some of the Castlevania games, so it's like I have some kind of knowledge to these characters, but not as much as other people would. But I'm still excited. So, yeah, Castlevania Season 2 will be starting next week on Thursday, which is the 6th. So next Thursday, the 6th, we will be starting Castlevania Season 2 here on Thursday Reactions. But for now, we are going to finish Disenchantment. And, yeah, it sucks that this is the end, but I'm excited. I'm still excited, and I know we're getting more, so don't know exactly when next year, but I know we are getting more. So, that being said, let's just get this started. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts, and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, this was one hell of a finale. And like I said at the end of the reaction there was no resolution to this. There was no end, really. I mean, this is just, we're going to be moving straight into the next season. This season ended with, well, as the title promised, the fall of Dreamland. All of Dreamland has been turned to stone, except for the king. Elfo's corpse has washed up on a beach and apparently has been rescued by someone. And Bean is off with her traitorous mother, who she doesn't even know is bad, on a ship of all of these strange creatures. We don't even know why Dagmar is traitorous. All we know is it has something to do with Bean, something to do with, I guess, some power she has. There's a lot of questions that this did not answer, that this raised. And so let me talk about this kind of as a whole for a second. Let's talk about Matt Groening's other shows in comparison. So Matt Groening's other two big shows are Simpsons and Futurama. Simpsons is an episodic series that started as a sort of short on the Tracy Ullman Show. It was just this suburban family and their misadventures, basically. And it grew and grew until, like, what, over 25 years later or something like that? It's still going on. And while it may not be at its peak anymore, while it may have gone a little downhill in a lot of people's eyes, it's still going. And it's still drawing in enough views to keep going. And there's a lot of great memories, a lot of great shenanigans we've faced. We've had a big movie come out of it. There's been so many, or so much merchandising. And it's been one of those shows where it doesn't need an ongoing plot. There is definitely continuity from certain episodes here and there and whatnot, but it doesn't have like any ongoing story to it. It's very episodic. And then you have Futurama. Futurama has had some ongoing stories, but it is mostly episodic. While Simpsons is more about a suburban family and their town and everything and the people within it, Futurama is takes a more sci-fi route to it all. It goes with a lot more interesting, unique characters, a lot more interesting designs by introducing aliens and whatnot. Though there are aliens in Simpsons, but still. It's a much more common thing with Futurama, obviously. And it's able to get away with a lot more due to its sci-fi focus, because of experiments and all of that, alternate universes. I remember that one episode with the alternate universes in the boxes and whatnot. Just various things like that. There's mutants and whatnot as well. So there's a lot more they can get away with. It takes a lot more of these creative ideas and runs with them. Completely goes just completely wild with all of that. But still, it is very episodic. While there are some, again, some ongoing plot points, some ongoing character motivation, some ongoing stories, it's mostly episodic. Disenchantment is different. For one, while Simpsons and Futurama, I guess, technically have seasons to them, they're not as clear-cut as a lot of shows these days are. A lot of shows in the modern era are definitely more season-focused. It's like you have, oh, this is season 1. It has this many episodes. Then there's season 2, and so on and so forth. But in the past, with a lot of shows like this, it wasn't as focused on that. It was just like, oh, here's a bunch of episodes. We'll sort them into seasons maybe to technically account for the effect of DVDs and stuff, but you don't have to worry about that when watching them. Like, there's not going to be any big season finales or anything. It's not going to be as clear-cut. Disenchantment is definitely going more along with the modern style of all of this. It is definitely seasonal. This first season feels like a season. It doesn't feel like just a bunch of episodes slapped together. There is an ongoing story. The story of the king trying to gain this immortality in order to try and bring back Queen Una. Or not Queen Una, Queen Dagmar, rather. In order to bring back Dagmar. Now, I mean, at first we don't know that that's his altogether goal, but we find that out here in the finale, and it's like, I really like that. Because as I said in the reaction all, it really sheds a new light on him. These characters, I feel, are given a lot more care and attention than they are with other Matt Groening shows. I mean, like, nothing against the characters in The Simpsons and Futurama. I enjoy those characters, and they definitely have a lot to them. But I don't know, something about the way this is done with Disenchantment feels like it's just, there's a lot more put into it, a lot more thought and a lot more care. Maybe it's because it is also put out by Netflix, and I just hate to say it this way, but Netflix does seem to be better at a lot of this. And I don't know, like, who else worked on this show outside of course, Matt Groening as the creator. I don't know, like, who else was hired, like, as producer, as any writers, as any script checkers or whatnot, but they all seem to work really well together to make this, well, what we expect from a Netflix series these days. Now, I'm obviously not going to say that all Netflix series are as good as, like, this, or Stranger Things, or Series of Unfortunate Events, or Voltron, or yada, yada, yada. But it's just clear that Netflix seems to have a stronger idea of, like, what it wants to do when you have these different shows. It seems to have more of a focus, is what I'm saying. Now, again, not all of these shows work, but they always seem to have that focus, and that's something to note. At least the shows I've watched on Netflix. And it's really great to see that in a Matt Groening show, because I really feel this was needed. Again, Matt Groening shows, Simpsons, Futurama, they're great, and I enjoyed them. Very much so. But the one thing they were always lacking was focus, and it's the one thing that made me stop watching The Simpsons regularly. It's the main thing that made me stop watching Futurama regularly. And I mean, I still look back on a lot of those episodes very favorably, and a lot of the characters I still love. But I'm not going to lie and say that those shows were lacking problems, because their lack of focus caused way too many issues. Continuity issues, character issues, writing issues, and the fact that, I mean, Simpsons has gone on so long, it's going to suffer because of it, and it has. And Futurama went on so long, had so many movies, and all of that, that it suffered too. And they tried to do too much. With Disenchantment, because it's more focused, because it seems to have more of an actual plot in line here, it definitely seems like it's going to actually put forth more effort to make this a like legitimately great series. Like, I adored this first season. And not every episode like really focused on the overarching plot. I mean, a lot of it didn't. A lot of it was just Bean trying to have fun and be Bean, basically. But even that kind of stuff came to a head because we saw how through these episodes she made that connection with Lucy and Elfo, how they all came together as good friends, best friends. And how with Elfo's death, we saw how all of that came to a head. Like I said, the fact that Lucy was legitimately sad about Elfo's death, the fact that he was legitimately, like, really sad, and he even cried. He actually shed a tear. That is saying a lot for his character. Because Lucy's been a sarcastic, mischievous son of a bitch the entire time. He's been like, do it, telling Bean to do all this bad stuff and encouraging her, being the devil on the shoulder archetype. But in the end, they've legitimately become friends to the point where he's crying about Elfo. Elfo, a character who he's mercilessly made fun of. He's actually crying about his death. He misses him. And we saw how that came to be. It didn't come out of nowhere. We saw their relationship build through these episodes that were, in plot, episodic, but in character. They were intertwining in a meaningful way that I didn't even expect. I said in my pre-thoughts to this reaction that this series has mostly been episodic. That there has been a little bit of an ongoing story, but it's not been this big thing that's been hugely focused on. And now we see that they are giving this focus. That this focus was there, but in subtle ways. That is really cool. Gravity Falls did the same thing. Gravity Falls did this excellently. And, I mean, I don't necessarily get Gravity Falls vibes from Disenchantment. It's a completely different kind of show. I get more Gravity Falls vibes from Hilda. But, I still feel this just connection because of that. I feel more connected to the series because I've seen this kind of writing before. This way that little things that happen in the background, little things matter more so than you would think. And they come to a head. And the fact that this season does end on something that big and that, like, dreary, the fact that this isn't actually concluded, it ends on a cliffhanger and this, like, horrible thing happening, the fall of Dreamland, that is something that few shows do. Few shows end a season like that. But it's usually a very good sign when they do. When a show can end a season like this, it really gets the viewers excited for what's to come next. Because that is a way to really build hype between seasons. To have something big happen and not have it resolved. It allows the viewers to anticipate the next season that much more. And we know the next season is coming. Like I said, it's coming in 2019, and then there's going to be more in 2020 and 2021. We know this. We know there's at least going to be 4 seasons. So we know that all of this might not even be resolved in next season. That this might be even pushing up to an even bigger main story. Like, Dagmar might not even be the end-all, be-all villain. We don't know. And that's fascinating. Like, I was enjoying this show before. Very much so. But it's like, this is impressive. This is noteworthy. And it's sad that people have been comparing this show so much to Futurama and Simpsons and stuff, and knocking it and saying it's not that good because of it, because it doesn't live up to their expectations, because it's not Futurama, it's not the same kind of humor, it's not the same kind of charm that The Simpsons has. And it's like, enjoy it for what it is, and it's different than those two shows, very much so. But this is following more in the footsteps of the current generation of animation. The stuff like Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Steven Universe, Voltron, She-Ra, this big stuff that is legitimately really impactful on animation. Heck, I would honestly say that we are in a new renaissance of animation that started with Adventure Time. Adventure Time, MLP, Star Versus, She-Ra, all of these, even regular show, even Gumball, which, even though I'm not a huge fan of Gumball, even Gumball, all of these shows have done so many new things for animation. They have pushed the boundaries beyond what we know for this medium. We are in a renaissance of animation, and it's beautiful. And Disenchantment is just another example of that. This isn't just good. This is important. Shows like this, that do this kind of stuff, that push these boundaries, that make us this excited, that give us this much depth, where to every little thing is meaningful, every little thing matters, even the smallest moments. That's big. And not everything is answered, and that's good for a series that we know is getting at least 3 more seasons. The fact that everything is not answered is good, because it's telling us we will eventually get those answers. We will find out what Elfo is half of. Like, we know he's half elf, but what else is he half of? We don't know yet. We will find that out. We will find out what the deal with Dagmar is. We will find out if Queen Una and Darkmire, or Dankmire, or whatever it's called, do declare war on Dreamland. We'll find out if Dreamland even continues to exist. This show is promising us that. Matt Groening and the other people making this show are promising us that we will have answers, but that we just have to be patient and let this story unfold, just like Gravity Falls did, just like Adventure Time did, just like Star Versus is doing, and so many other shows. Not everything will seem important right off the bat. Not everything will seem like it's part of the story. There will be a lot that seems episodic. But if the creators of the show can take that stuff and make it important, that's where this kind of stuff truly shines. So yeah, as I said, Disenchantment isn't just a great show. It's an important show. In a renaissance of animation, this is a show that shows how grand this medium of entertainment can be. And with season 2 coming next year, there's only more greatness we can go to. This was one hell of a ride. And yeah, I'm so happy I watched this. I'm so happy I reacted to it. I'm happy I could share this with you all. But unfortunately, season 1 is at an end. And so, as I said, next week we will be beginning season 2 of Castlevania. Another great Netflix series. As I mentioned, I did watch season 1. I did react to it, but that was on my old channel that was terminated, so all of that content's unfortunately gone. But I will be, for sure, reacting to season 2, and I'll mention my thoughts at the beginning of next week's episode 1 reaction. I'll mention my thoughts on season 1 just to kind of recap everything and all. Just to let you all know, for all of you who might not have seen those reactions on the old channel, what I thought of the first season. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. It's been fantastic, and I can't wait for more. And you better fucking believe that we will be coming back for more next year when season 2 drops. For now, though, thank you all so much for tuning in once again, and I hope you enjoyed. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles, shed tears along the way, you're still standing, live, love, laugh.